Well, school for some is back in session, and right now students across the Milwaukee metro area are getting up and, heading out of the door this morning. Thousands more will return to classrooms next week. It is why drivers need to be alert and prepared to slow down in those school zones.
In this morning's Project Drive Safer report, our year-long effort to combat reckless driving, Andrea Albers brings us the perspective of a crossing guard who shares some candid advice.
I spent time outside of Reagan High School during the most chaotic part of the day. Cars, buses, and hundreds of students coming and going. But above all the noise, you could hear a sharp whistle.
I've been, probably 30 or 40 different corners I've been in all this time.
For over a decade, Wayne Pratis has been protecting MPS students.
Oh, they call me Mr. Wayne. I'm more commonly known as Santa, as you can tell.
He wears fluorescent yellow, not red, but just like St. Nick, Wayne is a man on the move.
When I get on a corner, these kids are not their kids, they're my kids. So I try to make sure that my kids get across the street as safe as possible.
He says most drivers are patient.
And there's some that always seems to be in a hurry to go nowhere. If they got to go to work, so they're 2 minutes late for work. Come across! That's all it is about a 2 minute stoppage when we're trying to get the kids across the corner.
He's seen his share of bad behavior by drivers.
Give you the wrong salute. I got my toe run over once.
He says some drivers were ticketed by police last year for blowing past him while students were in the crosswalk.
Have a good night, kids.
Per Wisconsin state statute, the speed limit in a school zone is 15 miles per hour whenever a child or a crossing guard is present.
When there's a school zone, slow down in it. That's the main thing. When you're in a school zone, you got to slow down.
State law also says that drivers should stop at least 10 feet away from a school crossing guard. The same 10-foot buffer applies to the crosswalk.
Thank you.
Wayne patrols 5 corners over the course of each school day. And while he urges drivers to slow down, he's not ready to put the brakes on his career anytime soon.
As long as I'm healthy, as long as I can walk, I'm fine.
And I want to share one final piece of advice that Wayne had for drivers. Common sense and courtesy can get you a long way in a lot of situations. And he says it's no different in a school zone. Andrea Albers, TMJ4 News.